Okay, greetings everybody. I believe I'm live now. Greetings to all. I am really honored and delighted to join you all today as we deliberate on critical issues and trends to aid future decision making on the continent. My name is Rahmat Eyinfunjowo. I'm co-CEO at Nourishing Africa, a digital knowledge and membership hub that provides support to African agri-food entrepreneurs to help them to scale their businesses. Okay, I was hearing myself before. So I am the co-CEO at Nourishing Africa, a digital knowledge and membership hub that supports African entrepreneurs to grow their businesses and those who are in the agri-food sector. I've been requested to speak on leading beyond COVID-19 and connecting Africa leaders to the globe. And I hope that my following remarks will address the topic sufficiently. It has been really enlightening and exciting to listen to other speakers address various topics that affect various topical issues on the continent. So going back to my topic, I know that we are all aware of the impact of the pandemic on our businesses across the continent. Beyond businesses, even the impact on livelihoods has been felt across board. From economic shutdown to closure of businesses, inflation, and so forth, we have seen it all. Most countries are now at that post-COVID stage where governments and stakeholders are pulling on different tricks and strategies and plans to recover from the unprecedented crisis. Now, even though COVID has precipitated the emergence of new business models, and according to some reports, it has increased the adoption and use of technology in businesses. It is really important to note that COVID has only aggravated existing issues on the continent, and we must not lose ourselves in trying to recover from COVID alone, but to provide all-encompassing solutions. In Nigeria, for example, where I am based, professionals in the medical and tech industry are leaving the country in droves, and they are being welcomed with open arms in Canada, in the US, in Australia, in Germany, and other parts of the world. This is a huge loss to the country and to the continent. And it is little wonder that Africans believe that they have to get out of the continent to get access to excellent healthcare, excellent education, excellent food, and so forth. Now I'll go to the agriculture industry, the sector where I work. Nigeria is the largest producer of cassava and yam, second largest for cashew nuts after the US. Cote d'Ivoire is the world's largest cocoa producer, and Kenya is a thriving hub of innovation and entrepreneurship on the continent, especially in the agriculture sector as well. These are just to mention a few. Yet, our continent is still a net exporter of food, and our importation bill keeps soaring, despite the continent's endowment for natural resources. We still have the issues of climate change to tackle with and infrastructure deficit and so forth. So how do we as leaders lead and scale forward? I have a few points for consideration. The first I would really say is that we as Africans, we as leaders, we as youth, we as future leaders of tomorrow need to change our mindset. And that is the first thing I would say on this program today. There's so much that Africans actually need to change about their mindset. From the belief that made in Africa is inferior and the best quality has to be imported, to another conviction that the best education can only be gotten from abroad. CEOs of indigenous, locally made, and locally sourced products will agree with me that it takes sweat and blood to convince Africans to actually buy from Africans. So these CEOs on a daily basis, business owners on a daily basis, are struggling to convince other Africans to actually buy from them and engage their services, whereas international brands do not need to do this. A classical example I would give is the case of local baby food products versus the imported counterparts. On the Nourishing Africa Hub, for example, we have members who have built fantastic and amazing businesses around providing infant foods made from nutritious foods sourced locally on the continent. The likes of Baby Grubs, and August Secret in Nigeria, Start Right Nutrition in Ghana, Lolilze in Senegal are examples. However, these businesses really struggle to convert African mothers to customers because there's still a preference for imported baby food. When it comes to education, that's another story entirely. But we have strong academic institutions of learning despite the challenges of infrastructure and a host of others. The likes of Lagos Business School in Nigeria are churning out business leaders every time. We have the likes of Ibukun Awoshika, who is an alumnus of this prestigious school. Now, when coming back to changing our mindset, it is really important that we go from this mindset of, abroad is better, foreign is better, to begin to patronize our local businesses. And this is one of the ways through which we can scale fast and scale forward. Another point is to change the narratives and tell our own stories. I have read and seen enough social media posts, research reports, publications, and movies that tend to depict Africa as a country and not a continent, for example. As CEOs and business owners, it is really important to be on the front burner on what changes are happening in your industry and on the continent and take charge of telling the story from our perspective. Each individual must make concerted efforts to recognize, amplify, and celebrate Africa's contributions to the global economy. I had earlier mentioned the strengths of several African countries in producing several value chain crops on the continent. Now, one example of an organization that is trying to change the narratives is called Changing Narratives Africa, an indigenous organization based here in Nigeria on a mission to change global mindsets about Africa by showcasing the continent's contributions to the world through pioneering work of a dynamic people, their innovations and products. We certainly need more of this type of organizations across the continent. Now, another point I would talk about is that we need to leverage networking platforms. Now, the continent needs to move from the format of working in silos and fragmentation to working together. Business owners and leaders need to actively connect and engage with each other and with their counterparts across the globe. There's a need to participate and engage in conversations in forums such as this Tropics Business Summit, and actively engage. As an example, Nourishing Africa is a digital hub for agri-food business owners across the continent. We've provided this digital space for entrepreneurs to connect with each other, access critical global resources, and co-create innovative solutions to share challenges in the food ecosystem. Stakeholders on the continent simply need to support, engage, and amplify such platforms like Nourishing Africa to ensure that we completely break the silos and promote cohesive work across all levels of engagement. Lastly, I will talk about our human capital resources. We need to harness our human capital resources. Now, the continent is filled with unparalleled talent. From the creative industry to agriculture, to the movie industry, food and politics, name it. We only need to look to the likes of Adeomi Adeshina and Dr. Mariah Andrade, who are both World Food Prize laureates, to Professor Wole Soyinka, who received the Nobel Peace Prize in Literature, to Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, the current DG of the World Trade Organization, to even Angelique Kidjo, a four-time Grammy Award winner. We have a celebrated Dr. Ola Orekunrin, who established Flying Doctors in Nigeria, the first medical air service in West Africa. I mean, I can go on and on, but essentially, the continent needs to invest in her human resources, develop capacity, and engage the youth, who are the future of the industry, of economic stability, and political stability across the continent. Finally, I urge all stakeholders to support small businesses, to support the young people, to support women as leaders, as CEOs, as stakeholders who have vested interest in the transformation of the economy in Africa. It is really important that there is multi-stakeholder partnerships, that there are initiatives that bring people and forces, initiatives and interventions together to achieve transformation. I sincerely hope that this discussion and the event today will provide us with valuable insights to contribute to create the transformative change that we all want to see on the continent. Thank you so much for your attention.